All right, I want to welcome our first guest here to talk about networking is the CEO of Mimconnect, and Netta Dobbins. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, so why is networking so important right now?
Honestly, right now, especially for professionals of color, you have to think about recent conversations around systemic racism and all the things that are happening within the world. COVID has us in the house. Conversations around systemic racism are on a rise. So, right now is really the time for Black professionals to come out, have those informational interviews with companies they've always admired to be in order to get those positions within the company overall. I think right now the Black perspective is super, super important, and companies are actively seeking out diverse talent in order to have a diversified point of view when it comes to the work that they're producing, but also hit their bottom line because we know that a diverse workforce overall increases revenue and profits.
Yeah, and that all sounds great in theory, but how do we really know if an organization is actually serious about promoting inclusion? Because I think we do diversity well, right? Look, we look like a United Benettons of Color commercial, right? But do those people actually feel included in the decision making that happens at the company?
And that's a great question. With Mimconnect, we started as a primarily recruiting platform. And then with this year and all the conversations, we were like, okay, we can help you recruit, but you have to be able to retain these people and you have to be able to develop them. When it comes to the companies that we're talking to, we have these open conversations a lot. And when we ask them, what are you doing to retain and develop these people? A lot of the times the conversations start with, hey, are you creating, employee resource groups internally? What do your diversity and inclusion practices internally look like as well? Do you have someone to lead them? And if not, we tend to offer, workshops and trainings all about creating inclusivity and anti-racist workplaces. I think when you talk about diversity and inclusion as well, sometimes you're always talking to people of color, right? But we already know what's going on and we've already lived it. So another way to really promote diversity and inclusion within the workforce is to ensure that everyone is on the same page from C-suite to entry level, no matter what color they are, and ensure that they have the proper training to understand their biases, understand their triggers, and understand how to work with people from different cultural backgrounds overall.
Netta, a lot of people are shy when it comes to communicating with new people. Can you give us, say, 2 networking tips for people who aren't very good at this?
Oh my God, this is such a great question because I actually used to be an introvert, right? I did not like talking to people. And I think the main thing to have when you're networking is one, understand your elevator pitch. Who are you? And be able to recite it within 30 seconds or less, right? I think that's what throws people off a lot is like, how do I even introduce myself to this person? So get comfortable doing that first. And then 2, understand why you're networking and the purpose of what you're wanting to gain or the mutually beneficial opportunity within this relationship that you're generating, right? If you're clear on that, I think that you'll be more comfortable and confident when it comes to approaching people overall.
Yeah, look, Netta, a lot of people say when you go out and reach people, network with people, you shouldn't have too specific of a goal in mind because that just becomes...
Takes it right off the table. You don't even know what they're going to offer you.
Yeah, you don't even know. How do you balance the two then?
I think one, have a goal in mind because it just makes you feel a little bit more confident. But it's important to really generate that authentic relationship, like you're saying. Listen to what they're saying. Listen, if it's a panel or event, listen to what they said. Listen to what interests you, and then talk to them about that and see kind of what their body temperature or what their body language is like before going into, this is who I am and this is what I'm looking to do. I always say before you make the ask. Have an opportunity to go out for coffee just to get to know them a little bit more too, right? Because the first thing you don't want to do is make that general ask. So get to know them a bit and then go in with the ask. But it's super important to have it in mind so that the networking is fruitful overall.
Yeah, so how do we do this right now?
Yeah, I can't
read
go out
body
and get
language, like leave my house. Obviously, there's uneven, rules right now. If you're in Texas, a little easier than if you're in California. So,
Right.
How do we network in this bizarre world?
Right now, there are a lot of organizations that are doing virtual networking, right? So there are opportunities to get on Zoom calls and attend other panels, diversity panels, or any kind of panels it's all virtual. It's all happening via Zoom, right? I think it's important to attend those. Mimconnect, we have different networking virtual events as well. Attend those, get to know people, and always have your video on. I know a lot of people were working from home and we're not comfortable putting our video on sometimes, but that's kind of how you read body language through the camera as well, as having that video on, making sure you're looking directly in the camera, smiling, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to post that as an independent clip. On that note, thank you so much, Netta, and all the best to you and your people. Thanks.
Thank you for being here, Netta.
Thank you.
Yeah.